Good day, everyone. Welcome back to DocTalk. I'm Dr. Daryl Wolfe, and together, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take back our power today. Better still, we're going to teach you how to stop giving it away, all right? Let's uncover and discover the true potential that lies within everyone. Did you hear me? Within everyone. You know what? I know that sometimes you feel like, wow, I am so stupid, or I'm dumb, or I just can't get this, or I don't have the intelligence, or I don't have the training to look after my body, to look after my family, to look after my children. Well, I'll tell you something. There's a genius and a practitioner in everybody, and I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart today. Okay? I'm going to be going through some things today to prove to you that we've been sucker punched, that you've been given a manual that is so corrupt and so contaminated that, you know what? You've always done your best. You can't do better till you know better. And you're not going to get it out there. Do you know how many people think they have a good bowel movement? Do you know how many people think that they eat well? Do you know how many people think that they love themselves? Look, when we start talking to people or doing consultations on people or really getting into it, they finally realize that, yes, I do love myself, but compared to the majority, who doesn't? Yes, I do eat a really great diet, but compared to who? Compared to the majority, who doesn't? Yes, I do look after my children the best that I can, and that's the God's truth. But the reality is you're only looking after your children as good as, what? The majority. And the majority today is in big trouble. I always go back to these things because you need to know them. 92% of the population has autoimmune disease. 80% of the population is overweight. Overweight. 60% of the population is what? 60% of the population is obese. So there we go. Healthcare is not true healthcare. The people that we mainly go to for healthcare don't even know what health is. You can go to a doctor and he'll say, diet has nothing to do with it. And then guess what? He actually expects you to believe that. And if you truly believe that, then you must be eating way too much sugar and too many refined foods, processed foods, and flour, because your brain must be numbed right out to think that food makes no difference in your body and what you eat, what you put into your mouth. Most people will opt for 3 inches of pleasure for 30 feet of hell, and they'll do it all their life. Why? Because mom and dad did it. Why? Because my brothers and sisters, my aunt, my uncle do it. My God, we even feed basic processed food to our dog too, who's walking around with tumors. I mean, what's out there and what's offered, okay, is manufactured. And you can't have manufactured food. You need to have nature's foods. All right, so today I'm going to answer some questions because on Friday I didn't get them all done. So when I also decided, I wish I could get this thing to stay on properly, but on Friday I decided that I'm going to have to do a Monday Q&A as well, only to keep up with all the questions. And then also it's not as long, hopefully, if I could just not be so long-winded, eh? All right, so let's get started. First, I want to talk about this. And here's the things that I would do to get started. And we are going to try to create the most powerful platform, easy for you to do. And understand, if you want to become the master at anything, you're going to do your homework, aren't you? If you want to become an Olympian and you want a gold medal, then you're going to practice every day, because repetition is the key. Please go on my website to either itioh.com, International Training Institute of Health.com, or docofdetox.com. Go to the top, first click on library, go to the library, and then take a look at the Perfect Day Guide. Go to page 37, read about 30 pages. Now you're going to start to get your groove on. Yes, it seems a little foreign. Yes, it's different than everybody else. Well, guess what? You need to be different than everybody else. Don't be following the herd, okay? You know, the big thing that they're talking about is herd mentality, that we all got to come together and think the same. Well, I'm not buying into that cup of soup. There's no way. So check out the Perfect Day Guide. Then go to my Braveheart 12 Loving Steps and watch the video or read through it. Now check out the things like the couples the couple's connection. Check that out. And check out how to do mirror work. And check out how to do the Love Band, Life Band. Check out the 12 loving steps and then start practicing. And then tell me if you think you really love yourself. Tell me if you really think you've got a really great diet going on. Well, if you had a really great diet going on, you'd have plenty of energy and you would not have pain and suffering in your body. You definitely would not be part of the 92% and having an autoimmune disease, would you? The next thing you should do is go and click on my masterclass at the top of my page. Click on my masterclass, go in there, use the word master, M-A-S-T-R, and you'll be a member for life. And then go in and look at the guide first, go to page 20, and then read, okay, go to page 5, go to page 5 and read 30 pages, takes you to page 35, and then start watching the videos. And if you want to really learn about the human body and how the human body functions and how you can be healthy at any age, there's where you start. And then you'll see a lot of other things and suggestions on where to go. All right? Let's move on. Okay, so just to go over a couple things. Our next course is in Kelowna. We've got 2 spots left, and it's our certification courses of our Whole Life Coach and our Wolfe Non-Surgical and our Wolfe Non-Surgical Advanced Deep Tissue Therapy. All right, and that's on April the 4th to the 24th if you took the whole combined course. So if you're interested, give us a call. We're also going to be in California, Palm Springs, June the 1st. And again, that's a 21-day course. And you can come and just take the Whole Life Coach if you want, or you can come and take just the Wolfe Non-Surgical Deep Tissue and then the Advanced. All right? Or you can take the whole thing. You can see it on itioh.com if you want more. And just know this, we're going to be staying at the Omni Resort. It's a 4-star resort, 5-star resort. And the rooms there are going to be $119 a night. So they're usually like around $250. Okay? Just for those people who want to know. I'll be in Markham, Ontario, and I'll be there for 4 days. On April the 30th, I'll be doing a full day lecture, okay, in the main ballroom called How to Thrive and Stay Alive on Planet Earth. And then on Friday, I'll be doing a 2-hour lecture, and that lecture will be called Body Pain and Aging, a Scar Tissue Issue. And then on Saturday, I will be doing Mind Over Matter, okay, because where the mind goes, the body follows. And then on Sunday, I'm going to put it all together with Creating the Perfect Day for the Perfect Life, and that'll be a 1-hour lecture, okay? Hope to see you there. And you can give us a call if you'd like to get tickets, if you know anybody living in the Toronto or Markham area, or if you want to come up from Buffalo or anywhere else. I'd love to see you. And we'll also be doing deep tissue treatments while we're there. So for those of you who need non-surgical treatments, you can sign up for that as well. All right? Okay. Let's start the Q&A. So anyways, what I want to do each Q&A is I'd like to talk about a story that's recent, okay? So let's talk about this one. A mother who's caring and she's ready to pull her hair out, frustrated, calls me. Let's go through the 3 texts that she gave me, and then I talk to her. And just because I know we can all relate to other people. Can't we relate to other people's stories? We can. Good morning, Dr. Wolfe. What is the cost to have one of your technicians come to us? My daughter had an MRI, and the doctors are saying that the area where the tumor was removed when she was 17 has changed, and of course they want to go into her head. Now, understand something. I'm going to pick it apart as we go through it. So, first of all, whenever you get surgery, you need to understand that the worst scar tissue that you'll ever get is from surgery. Believe it or not, every cell in your body has consciousness. And when you take a knife into it, and listen, sometimes you have to, but when you take a knife into the body, it traumatizes the cells on an emotional level. And you're going, what? The cells have emotion? Yes, they do. But it doesn't just do that. It creates terror in the body where the body goes into rescue. And because it's such a terrorizing situation for the human body, what happens is I'd really like to have this put on properly. There. So what happens is your body will always overcompensate. And so the more fear you have, the more trauma is involved, the more inflammation and the more tissue damage, the more scar tissue that's going to be created. The body sends in fibrin, just loads it up. And then the more calcium is going to be pulled from the bones. Do you know why? Because whenever you have injured tissue, whether it's from a surgery, sports injury, or an accident, okay, viruses and bacteria want to go and invade the area. And the calcium is being pulled to wall off so these predators don't come. And the scar tissue is also used to wall that off, okay? But the body overcompensates that. And then it uses lactic and uric acid to glue it all together. But here's the problem. After you do a surgery, if you don't have somebody like a Wolfe non-surgical therapist go in, okay, during the healing and even after the healing, you know what you're going to say? Oh my gosh, the tumor came back. The fibroid came back. Oh my gosh, my arthritis came back. Oh my gosh. Ask any woman that has had any type of surgery in the abdomen or pelvis area, or anyone else who has had surgery on any of their joints in the body, and you'll say, yeah, the surgery worked, but the reality is I still feel stiff. I've got arthritis there, or they're going to have to go in because there's too much scar tissue. All right? Anyways, so now what happened was all that scar tissue came back, and here's the deal. 17 years old, okay, she's 22 now. Do you actually believe that when after the surgery, she changed her diet, that she went to a whole plant-based diet, or that her bowels aren't jammed up, or that she's drinking enough water, okay, or being that age, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, can you remember when you were that young? Okay, especially the women out there. Think about what's going on in your mind. Oh, well, will somebody love me? Will I ever get married? Am I going to stay healthy? Does he like me? You know, all this kind of stuff is going through your head because guess what? Our children are not raised emotionally balanced. They're not raised to love themselves, and they're definitely not raised to do anything but poison themselves. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Okay, so let's keep going. So, of course she is in pain. Of course she's in pain, okay? All right? The scar tissue is coming back. Now watch, I'm going to tell you the whole story here. Of course she's in pain, and she did have some seizures, and when you're dealing with fear, you're at the mercy of what the doctors recommend. Well, you know what? When you become an emergency, then that's where you go, is you go to the medical system. They are the best at emergency care. But the reality is why do we become an emergency? Okay, think about that. I did not know you when she was 17, and at the time I only knew to pray and believe in God for a miracle, but since that time I realized that's not how it works. Let me tell you something. To have faith in the Creator, yes, we need it. But to believe in ourselves, we have to be able to do that. But you can't believe in yourself unless you've got correct information. Now, who's got correct information out there? Look at my grandparents were given a corruptive manual. Prior to my great-grandparents were not. My great-grandparents lived to over 100. My grandparents, they died in their 60s. My mother died in her 50s. Do you see a pattern here? Okay. So the manual that was given to us by the so-called food industry and the healthcare industry, the so-called healthcare industry, it has crippled us. It's contaminated us. You know, when people say, yeah, I've got great bowel movements, I'm eating well, like I already told you, they're comparing themselves to the majority, and the majority of the population we know has a disease. The majority of the population has a disease, and that disease is called corrupted information. All right? Okay. So anyways, I said to her, yeah, you know what? Prayer is amazing, but until you have the right information that you can take personal action and that we can teach your daughter that she's beautiful and that she needs to focus on herself and love herself. Because I will tell you right now, whether you believe this or not, we are taught not to love ourselves, and then we will end up picking therapies that are not very loving. And I know you might think, well, that's a bunch of you know what, but you think about it for a while. I don't expect anybody to take everything I say and go, oh yeah, I believe him. I don't. I really don't. This is just what I believe. All right. So anyway, she says, I believe the tumor originally was caused because she used to sleep with her cell phone under her pillow. And back then, we didn't understand how dangerous cell phones were. Well, of course they weren't. You know what? The very small print on a cell phone, it says that you are never supposed to hold it to your head. Do you get that? And whoever reads the small print down at the bottom, you know, when you sign and you go get a new phone, you just signed that if anything ever happens, okay, and remember something, if you ever get a tumor or you ever get anything going on with you, if they say to you, did you ever put the phone to your head? You better say no. You say you put it to your head, and that's it. There's no lawsuit going down. There's no them trying to help pay for your health care. Because there's right in there, it says you're not allowed to put the phone to your head. But meanwhile, at the same point, they're saying that it doesn't cause tumors. So anyways, so her daughter used to put the phone under her pillow. Guess what? If you take a cell phone and put it to your head for 20 seconds, you can take it away and then do an ultrasound, and you can see the imprint of the phone radiation right into your skin and bones. That's what you're dealing with, okay? My daughter has a medium-sized tumor on the left side of her brain in the back. When she arrived at the hospital, she had 4 seizures and threw up, of course, and she passed out. She was unconscious. I saw the MRI pictures that shows the swelling and how it's pushing the line that goes down the middle of her brain so that it's not straight and it appears to be growing quickly, is what I am told. She is on anti-seizure medication, and she has a tube in her mouth down her throat because she is not awake. She is sedated. They want to operate tomorrow to remove the tumor and reduce the swelling. My question is, if we do this surgery just so that they can be just so she can be back to herself and can communicate and then do your treatments, what do you think of that? Well, I'll tell you what I think of it. I think that, you know what? I think that when you have an emergency going on, there's nobody better to look after your daughter than the medical system. I'll tell you right now that if we knew how to look after ourselves, we would not, 99% of the time, and I do say 99% of the time, would never become an emergency, because you have been given a manual that creates the 911 emergency in your life, because corporations like pharma, okay, and the implant industry, they need you to become an emergency. I mean, if people are loving and taking care of themselves, then these economies are not going to be strong, are they? Well, who wants them to be strong? They want to be strong. They're looking after their bottom line. So here's the deal. Whether somebody goes for surgery, doesn't go to surgery, I would always suggest that you're on a perfect day diet, that you're drinking structured water, that you're making sure you're lovingly detoxifying your organs, and that you remove all the scar tissue and crystallization in your body. Okay, if you do that, you're going to have the body of a young child. Do you get that? Look, nobody in my office has the flexibility. Does anybody have my flexibility? Jan?
No, they do not.
Does anybody have my health?
No, they do not.
Does anybody have the energy I have?
No, they do not.
Okay, and guess what? But they couldn't they, Jan?
They could.
But the reality is I've got most of the people that work here are in their 20s, and they believe they're going to live forever. So you have never seen a society in your life, even the beautiful people that work for me, how badly they eat. They eat hardly anything that's living. They hardly drink water. Some of them are starting because I'm always, what am I doing, Jan? What am I always saying to you guys?
More water?
Yeah, because when they don't drink water, guess what happens? They can't think straight. The first thing that goes is you get foggy. And then they go, well, I'm overworking. When actually, no, their brain is becoming like beef jerky. So that's the deal. There will never be a sick, there will never be such a sick generation as the generation that's in their 20s right now. There will never be that. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Things are drastically going to change because of all the young kids that will be, you ready for this? Taking their lives. Suicide. okay, overdosing, and also getting cancer, and also getting colitis, rheumatoid arthritis, having strokes. Okay, so you do know that 8, 9, 10, and 11, and 12-year-old children are now having mini strokes. Go figure. Okay, that's never happened before. And that's because of what's going on out there. All right, let's keep moving on. Okay, I hope I pronounced your name right. Jacqui, my 9-year-old had HEDS, HEDS, mast cell, and POTS. Do you have a supplement to help her? Okay, so HEDS is hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which used to be known as hypermobility type or type 3. It's thought to be the most common genetic connective tissue disorder. And can I say something? I don't believe in genetic connective tissue disorders. I believe that there is so much inflammation in the body. It could have been due to a stressful pregnancy, maybe the drugs that the mother got while she was pregnant, okay, or the antibiotics or the drugs that the child got afterwards, or some heavy-duty trauma that put the baby into shock. And then, did you ever notice that some people can get so much trauma in their life that they never ever calm down again? They're always like this, and that means is that the baby or the child doesn't even know that it's in a terror situation, okay, because it's on alert. And that means that it's dripping adrenaline into the body. And when you continually do that, you fatigue the adrenals. But what do? You create an acidic situation that creates inflammation, which causes connective tissue disorder. Now, if you were to take a look and we were to really go in and take a look at this boy, this child, if we were to look at this child, we would find that we could go in there and change the water probably, get the bowels moving properly. I guarantee you the bowels aren't moving good. And I guarantee you that not all the inflammatory foods are away. And how about is the Wi-Fi turned off when the baby goes to bed at night? What kind of electricals are around the baby? So even if they were right about the genetic connective tissue disorder, I would still tell you that we could wean that out, okay? Just as you can get sick, you can get well, okay? There is no up-to-date research to tell us exactly how frequently it occurs. We're talking about POTS now. Postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Oh, you're going to love this one. You know what? Did you ever notice something? All the big names, you can hardly pronounce the names. So, when I was first getting into health, somebody would say, "Do you know this drug?" And I'd feel like I was stupid because I didn't know the drug or I didn't know the new disease. Well, there's new diseases coming out every day. Not even the medical doctors out there know them all or know all the drugs. They got to get the pamphlets to keep up on this. Okay? All right. So POTS is a condition that affects circulation, right? Otherwise blood flow. POTS is a form of orthostatic intolerance, the development of symptoms that come on when standing up from a reclining position. Are you kidding me? And that may be relieved by sitting down or lying down. So here it is. The medical system says, if you've got this, how to relieve this disorder, this disease, this condition, this symptom, call it what you want, is to sit down or just go lie down. Well, I'm telling you right now, there's a lot more to it than that. She asks, can tapping or kinesiology help with clearing POTS and mast cell? I say go ahead and do it. But I say get a proper consultation, find someone who knows what they're doing, and outline everything that your child is doing throughout the day. Where is he going? What's he doing? What's the environment like? What is he drinking? What is he eating? Okay. How is he sleeping? Okay. Different things like that. Okay. Where's the bedroom? Where's the position? Is there any big hydro wires around your apartment? There are so many things that, you know what, but it doesn't take long to wean these things out. All right. Next, number 2, Megan, I have had reactive hypoglycemia since I had, I wanted to come back to this. So I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of people that get dizzy. I know that when I've worked too much, haven't drank enough, and I work too much and I don't take a break, or I don't drink enough water, structured water, or I don't get enough nutrition, I'm going to get dizzy. And you know what else can make you go dizzy? A virus. And I would tell you that this child, and I'm not a doctor, never said I was a medical doctor, but I'd say that this child has a virus, not this condition. And you can get rid of your viruses by bringing up the integrity of your tissue, by bringing up the vibration and the quality of your life, okay? And I would say too, and on a nice level, how's the relationship between mom and dad? Is dad around? What is that like? So all of these things really count. Megan, I have had reactive hypoglycemia since I had my last child 8 years ago. They can't figure out the cause, and I have been sick since having her and have been diagnosed now with multiple other health issues on top of it. Was healthy prior. What are your thoughts? I eat 1.5 to every 2 hours. She eats every 1.5 to 2 hours. She eats to keep her blood sugar up, and still they will be between 5 to 70 at 1.5 to 2 hours. I will tell you, this is crazy. You do whatever you want, okay? But just so everybody knows, I'll answer that. But reactive hypoglycemia in people without diabetes. Hypoglycemia can result from the body producing too much insulin after a meal, causing blood sugar levels to drop. Okay, I don't believe that. Okay, myself I don't, but I'm allowed to. That's just personal. This is called reactive hypoglycemia. Reactive hypoglycemia can be an early sign of diabetes. Yes, it can be. And guess what? I guarantee if I look at the diet, it's not a whole plant-based diet. And I can guarantee you that they told her to snack on crackers, bread, just things to keep her blood sugar level up. But she needs to have a whole plant-based diet where the sugar goes into the body slowly. And that's what whole plant-based foods do. Your processed foods go in so fast that it does cause too much insulin to come into the blood. And the only time that you'll get too much insulin in the blood is when you're eating sugary, floury, processed foods. And that's the deal. And you're just whipping a tired horse. All right? So that's where the hypoglycemia comes from. And it's probably one of the easiest things to turn around with a good diet and nutrition. Colette, Dr. Wolfe, you're such a breath of fresh air. I've lived in Colorado, and the political climate in the U.S. is so nightmarish. I've been depressed ever since the 2016 presidential election. Colette, I will tell you, if you stay depressed that long, that you're depressing your immune system, which means you've got a lot of health concerns, girl, and you got to put a smile on your face. And guess what? From now on, this is what you got to do. You got to go cold turkey. You are not going to get involved in any more government issues, or you're going to have issues in your tissues, and that's what's going on, and you need to stop that now. I do not care about the government. You heard what I said. Well, what if they do bad things? Well, wait a minute. They already are. Yeah, but if you don't vote, Daryl, we won't be able to stop them. No, actually, I'm just going to ignore them. Maybe they'll go away. And the reality is this. I'm going to look after my family, look after my life, and I'm not going to listen to all the garbage that they do. I mean, that's just one big soap opera. That's all that is. And if people started totally honoring, respecting, and totally loving themselves, the government would change. The only reason why the government is as bad as it is because the majority of the population are just as bad as them. And there it is. You got to learn how to love yourself. And when you don't love yourself, you hate yourself. And when you hate yourself, you beat up on yourself. And that's what our government is doing to us every day. And I'm just going to forget they're there. I'm going to embrace nature. Because at the end of the day, all I got to do is pay them enough taxes to keep them away from my property and me. And that's all I'm concerned with. All right? But I will tell you, people need to come together and change. And it's not going to be going and worrying about what the president's doing. Okay, I need to focus on my health, including mental health. Well, there it is right there. Where the mind goes, the body follows. And you know what? I got to tell you, when you're that busy outside of yourself, It means you don't want to look inside of yourself. But that's not you not wanting to look inside. That's your subconscious. Your subconscious says, don't look inside there. It's dirty. It's ugly. Well, I'm telling you, it's the most beautiful place you'll ever be is inside you. Okay? And take a look in your heart and find that God spot. And then start filling your heart up with self-love, self-care, self-respect, self-discipline. I need a total detox, she says. I've signed up for the A to Z masterclass and will focus on me. Well, you know what? You do that. And when you focus on you, then what will happen is you will become the light, and then you will show other people the way. God bless you. Sara, I wholeheartedly agree. All these diets, one after another, I feel guided to start eating more plant-based food, raw food, and stop with the animal products for a while. Hey, I would say, Sara, why are you stopping for a while? What if you feel amazing and you're not eating animal products? What would make you go back? I'll tell you why. Because your subconscious rules us all. My subconscious rules me. But I spent the last 30 years going in and erasing and replacing beliefs of total love for me, total discipline, total trust, total integrity. And I also understand that out there, liar, liar, pants on fire, and even everybody that comes to me, God love everybody, and I mean that. But when everybody comes to me, I know that they're just going to be blah, blah. And most of the information, they're just passing on what they've got from someone else. And I don't mean that I don't listen to them, blah, blah. I'm talking that they're talking, but I don't even think people actually believe what they're saying. How could they even believe what they're saying? Listen to what people are talking about. They're talking about how bad things are. We need to focus on the good in the world. But I will never, ever forget what's really going on there right now. And it's called, I'll tell you what it's called. We're in the time of the harvest. Corporations are harvesting us. Yeah, I'm not kidding. So you got to wake up. And if the whole world were to just personally take action, loving and healing and eating right, thinking right, this whole matrix would crumble. Elaine, what are your thoughts on the medical medium Anthony William and his teachings on the liver pathogens, viruses, and the Epstein-Barr virus? Okay. I think that he's right. You know? I mean, but you got to understand, just like how he goes on, everything is Epstein-Barr. I can tell you right now, there's a couple scientists out there that are telling you everything is Lyme's disease. So I will tell you right now that if you can isolate the virus, I think that's great. But the reality is there's no negative virus that's going to live in a positive body. So it doesn't matter when somebody comes to me, I'm not concerned about the virus or the bacteria or the mold. I'm concerned about them buying into and drinking the Kool-Aid of love, self-love, self-care, self-respect. Because there is no virus, no bacteria, no fungal problem, no disease that's going to live in a body that totally loves, respects, and honors itself in the way of doing plant food, structured water, coffee enemas, advanced water fasting, vegetable juicing, all the things that we talk about. And once you create the perfect day and someone creates a strategy for you, you'll find out I'm right. Because even Louis Pasteur said, I was wrong. Okay? The bug is nothing. The terrain is everything. And anybody who's worth their salt out there knows that don't get caught up in the virus, chasing the virus. Get caught up in bringing up your vibration. Okay? Because the higher you vibrate, if I vibrate this high, everything underneath it must leave. If I vibrate this low, everything that is as low as this is going to come in. That's why people who will come to me, they'll say, oh, I've done parasite cleanses 3 times this year and I can't get rid of them. Well, I can see why. You're running, unconsciously running programs, and do you look the way you talk? Do you look the way you eat? Do you look the way you think? So, you know, these are the things that you need to do. You need to really take a look at all of these things. Everything is vibrational, whether it's food, whether it's a thought, everything that you do. And let me ask you a question. What is your purpose in this life? And what is your passion? You know, the first thing I always ask people when they bring somebody to me, my father, he's dying. I go, first thing I say is, do you want to live? And how badly do you want to live? I want to live. I go, okay, do you want to live because you don't want to die? Or do you want to live because you have purpose, you have passion? What is it that makes your day? What are you gifting the world with? What is your gift, and how can you share that gift to the world? All right? So these are really important. Really important. That's what makes it and breaks this whole thing. Okay. Jacqui, I'm gluten, dairy free, yet my tummy still hates me. I've done detox before. I've tried loads of things. I'm overweight. I'm stuck at 12 stones and can't shift it. Help me. That's 168 pounds, everyone. And the reality is I guarantee you that you can be dairy free and gluten free, but I guarantee you that is her diet 80% whole plant-based diet, okay? Is she drinking, because she's 168 pounds, is she drinking 4 quarts of water? Now you're going to say that's a lot of water for her. Well, if it's not water, it can be like vegetable juice, but I want to try to get from 3 quarts to 4 quarts. And the reality is we're not going by weight, we're going by toxicity. The heavier you are, the more inflammation you have, which means the more toxins you've stored. Because when you're 168 pounds, which she should probably be around 125 pounds. So if you take a look at that, you're talking about 40 pounds here, okay? You're talking about 40 pounds being overweight. But she's not overweight. She's got 40 pounds of inflammation. So what happens, your body, when you get inflamed, that's because you're toxic. Your body has to make fat cells to store the toxins, and it also has to retain water to dilute the toxins, and if it didn't do that, you wouldn't be around. Why do you think that everybody who's overweight, they don't have a jawbone? They look like this round ball because they're a puffball full of water, okay? So, and that's why people will lose maybe 5 to 10 pounds the first week because it's water, but you want to lose that. That means the fire's coming down. You don't have to take the fire truck there at least, right? And then the other thing is that the next thing that holds the toxins is the fat, but the worst one is scar tissue. So the longer you stay like this, the more scar tissue you're going to get. So you're going to become flabby on the outside and beef jerky down deeper, because that's where all the heavy metals and the really bad toxins, even worse than the fat cells, are held, okay? So you want to look at, like I said, the perfect day, get on the perfect day diet, start looking at the ultimate coffee enema, get on the tummy love, and get on the daily cleansing tea, okay? And also do the black gold. And then I would tell anybody who really wanted to get things going, I'd also do curcumin cayenne. Okay? I don't have, okay, it's right here. All right. And the curcumin cayenne 5,000. And it can't be just turmeric. If you had to do just turmeric to reduce the inflammation, you're going to be there a long time. You're going to need a shovel, okay? Where the curcumin cayenne, the mixture is 50 times stronger, so 1 teaspoon to 50, all right? So that's where I would take a look at. And the other thing is to start doing mirror work, because I really, truly believe that we have been taught not to love ourselves, okay? Because, look, let me ask you a question. If you truly believed you loved yourself, why are you still making decisions to drink enough alcohol to get drunk, which is alcohol poisoning? Why are you still buying these GMO products? And why are you still overeating? And why aren't you exercising? Oh, I could keep going on and on and on and on. It's like, I love you, Daryl. I do. I love you. You know, I think what we should all do tonight, before we go to bed, is go to the mirror and tell yourself, look in the mirror and say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the way I've treated you, but from this moment on, I will learn to love, protect, respect you from now on. I mean, you were given this body so you could come down and have this beautiful journey. And now it's hell on earth. And it could be heaven on earth, but it's not going to be unless you embrace self-love. Okay? All right. I want to, Sara, I want to book a consultation in the spring, but I want to start with the products and exercise. Where do I start? I've already went over it pretty well, okay? John, how often should an enema be done? Well, first of all, if it's just a warm water enema, I just told you the things I'd be on. These are the products I'd always be on. Because guess what? These products that I just showed you, those 4 products, they are the 4 pillars. Why? Because 85% of your immune system is your good bacteria in your large intestine, and all of this supports that. The daily cleansing tea supports all the detox organs, which the whole body is almost a detox organ. I mean, I love where the medical system now are coming out with this. Nobody needs to detox. The human body has all these detoxification organs. And I go back. Yes, you're right. Nobody would have to detox if we all lived in a natural, healing environment. We wouldn't have to detox if we weren't taking pharmaceutical drugs, or if we weren't taking all the drugs in that are in all the processed foods that the same the same people that own pharma own the food industry. So yes, you're absolutely right. But right now, everybody's on fire, okay? And there's 92% of the population have an autoimmune disease, and you're saying that we don't have to detox. Oh, and food makes no difference either, what you eat. Okay, so to your subconscious, people out there, to your subconscious, this is the worst thing anybody could say, because your subconscious goes, good, I don't have to change. Because your subconscious is from the cave days. Even though in the last couple thousand years, everything's changed. We're not in a cave anymore, are we? And the problem is the subconscious has never changed. It's always fearful. And guess what? The medical system and the food corporations and pharma and everybody else out there is feeding on you and creating and pushing your panic button and causing all this fear inside of you. They're playing you. You just got played. Okay? I'm not fearful. I don't have fear. I'm fearless. Did you hear me? You know what? I always said, when I was really like getting into this, people would say, well, you're always going to live with fear. No, I'm not. I'm not going to live with fear. I don't have to do that. And I've proven it. I can override it. Yeah. Do I have things sometimes I go, oh my gosh, okay, I got to deal with this, right? But the thing is, if you take action, you're not fearful, are you? No time in your life when you were taking action, massive personal action, were you ever fearful? The only time is when you're sitting here going, oh my God, what am I going to do? Right? John, how often should I do an enema? Well, let's say this. If you can't poop, you're going to need an enema. But you only need to do an enema because you're not eating right and not taking things that are going to build up your intestinal fortitude. And as far as a coffee enema, I will tell people that, some people need to do a coffee enema twice a day if they've got a chronic disease and they're in a bad situation. And take a look at the ultimate coffee enema in my Perfect Day Guide. And then I'll tell people to do one coffee enema for at least 7 to 10 days in a row, even if you're, oh my God, I don't want to put that up my bum. Oh, it's messy. Oh, I don't like the cramps. Guess what? By the time you get to the 3rd, 4th one, you're going to call me up and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. This is the holy grail of energy. And I'll go, yeah. Well, you know what? You've been alive for 40 years. Just think of the guck in there and all the drugs you've taken and all the bad food you've eaten, all the alcohol. It's about time you wring that liver out and get rid of all those toxins. So, some people will do a coffee enema for a whole month, maybe. You'll know. It's called gut instinct, which we've lost because we lost our gut because we've injured our bacteria. You know what? Bad foods create bad moods because you create bad bacteria. So your good bacteria go bad, and then you go bad. You get bad thoughts. Instead of having dreams, you have nightmares. Instead of feeling energy, you've got fatigue and inflammation. There it is. Couldn't it be that the oxygen is low because this area has a lot of crystallization? Okay, so I don't know where she's talking, but of course, any place that has a lot of crystallization or scar tissue will have calcium pulled in there too. So that's called a physical block. Now, physical blocks are nutritional blocks. They stop nutrition, they stop oxygen from flowing to the nicer tissues. That's why if you don't get rid of the scar tissue with Wolfe non-surgical, I don't know how else, guys. I mean, it's the most effective way to do it. And I'll give you a money-back guarantee that we'll go past your expectations. How's that? And I'll give you a money-back guarantee that you're not going to go to surgery for a hip or a knee or a back problem, you know what? I'll do it. And you know what? We're hardly ever wrong. I bet you maybe once out of 100. And I'm not exaggerating. You can see it on my YouTube videos. So here's the deal. So every time that you have inflammation, you get scar tissue formation, crystallization, calcification. That creates a physical block. Now, if I had a dam, a beaver dam on the river, everything is going to get caught there, right? And it's not going to allow the flow on the other side. Everything is about flow. And then guess what? And then it also brings your temperature down, okay? Okay, so you're either going to be cold, or when you get into a crisis, it's going to bring up a fever state because you're not getting the oxygen and the nutrition. Everything is about balance. So you're right. The oxygen could be low. Got to remove the block. John, Dr. Wolfe, when you mentioned about essential oils, no, he didn't say that. He said you talked about cinnamon. Did you mean super cinnamon? Yeah. If you were just to eat cinnamon in your food, it's really healing. But our super cinnamon that we make, it's made from the purest concentrate of cinnamon in the world. Just 1 or 2 drops in a quart, shake it, and goodbye hypoglycemia, guys. For diabetics, it's like a lifesaver. And for anybody who's got sugar cravings, you want to put that in your water, and that'll bring those sugar cravings down. Okay? Elaine, is it okay to juice celery? Yes, it is. And if you really want to clean your kidneys, juice 16 ounces of celery and drink it first thing in the morning, okay? Or drink water, and then the first thing that you would put in there for sustenance would be the celery, okay? The celery juice. Oh, make sure it's organic, because celery is one of the most toxic foods that you'll ever eat, okay? Because it's so porous. Patricia, need sleep, help. I'm going through menopause. Okay, understand something right off the bat. People who can't sleep are terrorizing themselves throughout the day with stress and worry, and they're also really acidic. The nervous system is being blown out. So you get home and you're really tired, but you're just like wired. You're just like there. You know what? Why aren't you doing the belly button therapy, right? I mean, right away, when you do belly button therapy, okay, that releases 50% of your dopamine and 70% of your serotonin, which is the biggest trigger, because this is the most powerful spot is behind the belly button. So we show it to you on my website if you go to belly button therapy. You can also, we have what's called mag infusion, and you can put magnesium in throughout the day, but I guarantee you're not drinking enough water. And also eat more leafy greens to get more magnesium from those leafy greens as well. But you also got to get your bowels moving properly. We talked about that. Use the curcumin cayenne to reduce the inflammation. All right. And believe it or not, doing things like Merigen, okay, to pull all the calcium back into your bones and to buffer the blood calcium down. Okay. Nothing does it better than Merigen. If you want information on that, you can call us. You can call the clinic, because this is such a powerful product, the SAC calcium, that we're allowed to sell it because it's totally non-toxic, and it's one of the most amazing products I've ever seen in my whole history. But the FDA told us we had to take it down off our website, but we could sell it. Go figure. I'll let you figure out why. Okay, so, and in that we have like Alzagen for Alzheimer's. We've got Cardigen for joint problems, arthritis. Megagen when you just want to go on a maintenance and never have osteoporosis or any type of calcium problems. Dentagen for, of course, for the jaw and for the teeth, strong teeth, and to help like bone necrosis of the jaw. And then Ozo Junior is the most amazing thing for children, for mind development and body development. If they're underdeveloped, you want to take a look at that product, okay? Tips on balancing hormones. I don't want to get into that too heavily. I will tell you this much, that you've got to bring the inflammation down. You know what? Everybody's going to hormones, even natural health practitioners. Let's balance your hormones. Let's balance. Well, why don't we balance your diet? Why don't we get your bowels moving right and clean out your liver? And why don't we get you drinking enough structured water, Okay? And let's take a look and see how much scar tissue and how much crystallization and calcium deposits are jammed up down in your pelvis region, around your ovaries, and in your breast area. Okay? That's where I would start. You know what? I want to try to stick with, we'll talk about product and things, but I want to really try to stick with what really matters, getting closer to nature. Pamela, what protocol would you suggest to get off of Xanax? Well, okay, because I am experiencing anxiety, panic attacks, okay, all right. So Xanax, everybody, is a brand name for the drug alprazolam, which belongs to a group of drugs called benzodiazepines. Do you see what I mean? So, you know what? There you go, eh? I mean, why couldn't they just give it like, it's like, if we can give it this name, you know, instead of saying Wolfe non-surgical deep tissue therapy, I'm going to call it some name that you can't even pronounce, right? Now, what good would that be? Well, if I did that, then that would be saying I don't want anybody to understand or take part of my deep tissue non-surgical therapy. So when they give you names like this, it's for you so that you can't understand, and it's just way over your head. And this is just so confusing for the majority of the population. You could never get yourself well. You can't even pronounce the bloody name of the product. Think about that one. Okay. Which act on the brain and central nervous system to produce a calming effect. Okay, so we know that Xanax will give a calming effect at the beginning, and then what does it give? Oh, I don't know, drowsiness, tiredness, dizziness, sleep problems, insomnia, memory problems, poor balance, coordination, slurred speech, trouble concentrate, irritability, diarrhea, constipation, increased sweating, headache, nausea, vomiting, upset stomach, blurred vision, appetite or weight changes, swelling in your hands or feet, muscle weakness, dry mouth, stuffy nose, loss of interest in sex. Oh boy. Okay. So now what I love is, and I mean that I don't mean anything bad by this, so please don't beat me up, okay? But guess what? If you go to a doctor and you tell them you've had a panic attack or you've got anxiety in your life because things aren't going your way, it's true. Things aren't going your way, but guess what? We have a tantrum. We have these adult tantrums that never stop. And we were told that we would be loved. We told that we would be well. And then what happens is we get frustrated and we have anxiety because people won't do what they want, that we want them to do. Family members, our children, our husband, our wife. So we get anxiety. Or we watch the news. Okay, the end of the world's coming and we panic, or we can't make the mortgage. Do you ever notice something? Everything that you've ever wanted and you stayed positive with, you've always gotten it. Okay? All right? I'm telling you right now that where the mind goes, the body follows. And if you learn how to do the lion heart breathing, 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out, do the belly button therapy, carry the thing with you if you need to. Do nebulizing, okay, where you can put like our silver bullet or our fulvic, and do nebulizing to just really practice breathing. Or guess what? Every time you start to feel anxiety, this is called a love band, life band, 3, 2, 1, I got this. And then only focus on what you want, and then connect to, you know what, if you were starting to have an anxiety attack and you just took in like 3 to 4 deep breaths in and out, and you just went, right? And learn not to react. Learn to stay calm. Learn to just relax. And take a look at this diet. And learn to drink more water. But honestly, even when people get these structure water units, where this is a structure water unit where you can structure your water, because you want to structure all your drinking water. But I tell people to breathe through this, right? Because you're going to get structured air and it's going to calm you down. Or you can do this type of thing. If you just even did that 3 or 4 times before you went crazy, here's how it is. As soon as something happens in your life, you have a choice. Anxiety or excitement. Right away. 3, 2, 1, I got this. Now, when I go like this, 3, 2, when I count backwards, 3, 2, 1, that takes it from my subconscious into my conscious mind. I'm not kidding. So anyways, I just found out that, let's say, my uncle died, right? And right away you can feel the blood leaving, right? And you're just like, go, 3, 2, 1, I got this. So right away, I'm going to take it from the subconscious, from the trauma, bring it up here, and then my next thought would be, what did I learn from him? What did I love about him? And then I'm going to wish him on the most beautiful journey. Because all my uncle did, if you really knew what was going on, is he left his body behind and he went on and his spirit moved on. All right? So we need to start looking things differently. If you don't want to change the story, then you're going to have the same outcome. You know, that's why I tell people, once you've done this work and you've done the Braveheart 12 Loving Steps long enough, you can go back into your history where you were traumatized and rewrite the story. Why can't you? You tell a story to yourself every day. You know what? There's people on here right now watching this show that are telling a story about how they're not good enough. They're telling a story about how they can't make enough money, they're telling a story of being poverty, how they're too short, how they're too fat, how they're too skinny, how their husband doesn't love them, how their wife doesn't love them. Tell a different story. Tell a different story. Look at the stories you tell yourself, and then you're going to find out why you panic. Because I'll tell you something, tell a story long enough, strong enough, it comes real. And I will not go into panic. No matter what goes on, a bomb could go off, and I'm going to connect to my breath first so that my mind doesn't become a landmine and blow me up. Look at, I'm going to tell you something. Go ahead and panic. How's heart disease? How's a stroke going to help? Because that's what you're going to have. And remember something. When somebody dies in a family, passes on, dies, and they have a disease, and it goes on, and they have, let's say, cancer, and especially cancer, it's a troublesome one, isn't it? What's going to happen is 1 or 2 people out of every family usually have a heart attack or they get cancer within 1 to 2 years. Okay, don't believe me? Find out. Or they get some other disease. Okay? That's how it is. So, you know, if I'm going to tell you right now, let's take a look at this. Do you know why people get depressed? Do you know why people get depressed? Because the body has to put you into an emotional, physical depression because you are terrorizing yourself and you are inflaming your brain. So would you rather have a seizure or a stroke? Okay? Or would you allow your brain to shut down, because that's what it does, it goes, it shuts down, and then you get depressed. It depresses you, because if it didn't depress you, you would blow yourself up. So now you get depressed. So why aren't you telling yourself a different story? But now when you get depressed or when you get anxiety, you rush to the doctor because nobody in the family knows what to do with you. Oh my God, we don't know what to do with her. Let's take her to the doctor. Well, I don't know. Why don't you take her for a walk in nature? Why don't you take her for a holiday? Whatever happened to date night? Whatever happened to, honey, please tell me whatever you want to tell me. I'm not going to be offended or scared. I love you. Whatever happened to that? Up, right away. I mean, we're just walking, talking commercials, aren't we? Joanna, my boyfriend, if I can call him that, because of his age, he called me a health nut who believes in voodoo. Let me tell you something. Okay, all right. Okay, well, you're going to get that, Joanna. That was the end of it. That's what you said. So you're going to get your boyfriend calling you a health nut, okay? And that's not him calling you. His heart's not calling you a health nut, okay? His spirit's not calling you a health nut. His subconscious is calling you a health nut because he doesn't want to stop cranking open that beer or that glass of wine, or he likes his poutine with cheese and gravy, okay? So understand, when I talk to someone, when I talk to my staff, when I talk to anybody out there, there's only very few people. I could probably mention maybe about 4 people in my life that when I talk to them, I'm not talking to their subconscious. Their subconscious isn't running them. 4 people in my life. That's it. The rest of the people, I know when I'm talking to them, they're not talking, their subconscious is talking. And if you want to know something, I'm right. The majority of the population is in the present moment for only 5 minutes a day. So maybe if I'm lucky, I'll get that 5 minutes with them. No, it's spread out. And guess what it is? People are in the present moment for 30 seconds. And then there's these 30-second intervals throughout the day. I'll tell you something right now. If you ever meet me, you're going to know I'm present. You're going to know I'm present almost all the time. Instead of 5%, 95%. I am present. When you're connected to your breathing, you are present. When you are connected to your source, your God, your creator, you are present. When you understand that all of the fear down here is make-believe illusion, I'm present. I'm here. Oh, wait. Shoot. Oh, there was more to it. Let me tell you something. He died the end of June 2018. He was wrongly diagnosed. They messed him up with so many drugs given to him. Then they washed their hands of him, telling him they can help or work with him. They can't help or work with him anymore because he has too many problems. And he still believed in them, calling them real doctors. Okay, so understand something. One of these real doctors kicked him out of his office because he started asking questions. Let me tell you something. Let's go back to the other thing. So understand something. What did I just tell you? After all of this, and they said, well, look at, okay, what do they got? Drugs, chemo, radiation, surgery. I think that's it, isn't it? I don't know if there's more. Is there more? Implants. So when that list is gone, they can't give them anymore because it's illegal for them to even suggest anything else. Isn't that something? But did you understand the subconscious, how powerful it is? Did you know that your subconscious is the most powerful thing, okay, besides your bacteria? Your bacteria are your smartest thing in the human body because your brain actually isn't the smartest thing, I'd say. Take a look at most people. Would you call that smart? Okay, first of all, the brain only really is a master computer that helps to trigger certain chemicals, hormones, to create certain tissues or issues in your tissues. And your brain is mainly used to house your prominent beliefs. And if those prominent beliefs are toxic, or those prominent beliefs are based on hate and not love, then you're going to still believe in the doctors even when they gave up on you, and not believe in the apple or the orange or the cleansing of your colon or your liver or whatever else, right? Okay. I have an embarrassing question, but this is the right forum to ask it. For the past 2 years, I have had tiny bit of urine leakage, and I feel that underlying problem is not really coming from the bladder. It's not. It's coming from your large intestine. And what happened was you've been leaking waste from the large intestine for so long that here's what happens. First of all, it beats up on the liver, then it beats up on the kidneys, but then the waste actually comes into the bladder, and the bladder's a sac, and the waste sits on the bottom. The waste sits on the bottom. And if you have a bladder leakage, you could also end up with kidney stones, okay, because you'll be pulling calcium in there because there's so much inflammation. But the waste, which is toxic, sits on the bottom of the bladder, irritates, inflames it, and it wants to shut down on itself. And after a while, what happens is the inflammation actually spreads to the valve that opens and closes the urine, and it's not able to close because it's swollen most of the time because you're so inflamed. Now, it could be the Epstein-Barr virus, but the reality is we can get rid of the virus if we were to up our vibrational when it comes to our thoughts, when it comes to our diet, when it comes to cleansing and the things that we take in, okay? So what happens is the continual inflammation shuts down on the bladder, so it actually shrinks. And as it shrinks, you can't hold a lot of urine. So then you get the pressure of the urine backing up, but it's actually the valve. It's inflamed, and when the inflammation comes down, it will heal. All right? And there's things that you can do for it, but I don't want to get into all of that because then I'm getting into the whole product pitch. And understand something. Here we go. I'm 32 and I feel like I am too young to have this. Well, you're never too young to be constipated and constipated long enough to reabsorb your waste to cause this inflammation. There's children that are actually suffering from this now. And that's why Costco has a whole aisle of Depends, a whole aisle for all ages, all weights, all sizes, men and women, because guess what? They know where we're going. Everybody's being conditioned that, oh, there's nothing I can do about this, right? You know, you can turn this whole thing around. But understand, most people are never going to do what they need to do. You need to take a massive personal action. Most people are going to get a 5-foot ladder and try to get out of a 20-foot hole. And the day that you want to get your health totally turned around, you call us and start going through our stuff, the library, go through the A to Z guide, watch the videos, go through the 12 loving steps. And, you know, there's a lot of other guides in there to help you. I'm not going to mention them all. But the reality is, I'm going to tell you, there's nobody that can't turn around their health. There's people, practitioners out there that don't know what they're doing. There's practitioners out there that don't know what they're doing, and they're also giving very dangerous information. And even natural health doesn't mean you're going to get it. You better go to somebody and find somebody that you can trust. We do consultations all over the world. We do Skype all over the world for people. So understand that. And you can see how much we want to truly help you. And we want to get you there without you breaking the bank. Okay? That's the deal. I'm too young to have this. Do you have any insight this? I'm starting your products, Black Gold, Tummy Love, Cleansing Tea, in a few weeks if those products would help with that too. Well, of course, I would be doing, like I said, the daily cleansing tea, the Tummy Love, the Black Gold, and daily cleansing tea, Tummy Love, Black Gold, and the curcumin cayenne 5000. Those are basic to start, but really look at their water intake. Okay, that's really important. And people will always cut down on their water when they got a bladder problem, kidney problem, when they actually should be upping their water. You have a kidney problem because you didn't drink enough water and it wasn't structured water, and you were reabsorbing your own waste from your large intestine. And I'm telling you, that's it. People can say what they want, but I know what I'm talking about. Lydia, thank you, Dr. Wolfe. I'm so glad to stumble on your Facebook page. You are slowly but surely empowering me on my healing journey. Love from Malaysia. Thank you. And you know what? Slowly's good. Gentle baby steps. But don't tell me you're working on it. Please take massive personal action with loving yourself and becoming more aware, okay, of the way you think, the way you drink, the way you eat, and the way you react to everybody. Watch out the way you react. Let's stop reacting. Let's connect to our breath. If somebody makes you upset, just go, so what? Just do this. Even if they go, why are you doing that? And then I would just nicely go, well, because if I wouldn't have taken those 3 deep breaths, I would have kicked the living crap out of you. There. That's it. Because we don't want to react. We want to just calm ourselves down before we take action. Okay? All right. Julie, statins make me like a cripple, so I had to stop them. The specialist said diet won't bring my cholesterol down. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Okay? That's just terrible that he even said that. Okay? And I will prove that you can. How's that? And then you can do another testimonial or something for us and just say how it came down. Understand? So here's the deal. We get inflamed. We get acidic. Okay, we start leaching nutrients and damaging the lining of the arteries and the tissues. So, and we start even pulling calcium and other minerals from the arteries. And what happens is your body says we need to make cholesterol because it's like candle wax. And then it goes in and it starts scooping up the cracks until the master of this body wakes up. Okay? All right. So I'll tell you, this is how it is. And when you get stressed out, and you've got high cholesterol, it's even to be more because why? Because you got stressed out. That created more adrenaline, more cortisol. That created more acidity, which created more inflammation, which means you pulled more and you caused more scar tissue, more cracks. We got to goop that up. He said there's another drug which is not a statin, but I suffer with chronic IBS, and he said the trouble is it causes constipation, and I'm already always so badly constipated and have trapped gas. And so whether you want to believe this or not, a good part of her cholesterol problem is her constipation, because she's reabsorbing the waste from her large intestine and from her small intestine, because it's only one cell thick, and if it gets inflamed, those tight junctions come apart, so the waste is going into the bloodstream, which creates the acidity, which I think we're there already. Statins also no. Okay, so let's keep moving. Zehra. Hi, doctor. I started to use the daily cleansing tea, but my inflammation and pain has increased. What can I do? Well, you should be drinking more water, okay? And I don't know, when you did the tea, some people, they're so jammed up that when it starts to move the waste out from the lymph, the kidneys, the liver, because it works on all the detox organs, the bowels got to be moving freely. So I want you to do me a favor. I want you to call me, okay? My extension is number 5. Call me, and I want to find out if you had diarrhea or how much your bowels were moving. And trust me, this is just a little hump. So everybody, when you take our products, if you do, or you take someone else's products, if you want to call us, we're not going to try to get you off those products. But what we'll do is we can tell you maybe how to back off or do something else so that you can get through this easier. There's always a way. Understand something. Learning about health today is like learning Chinese. If I had to learn Chinese, I would just struggle. You're going to struggle because you're so contaminated with incorrect information. So the reality is please do not worry about calling. If you get me on the phone, please don't go, oh my God, Dr. Wolfe, I don't want to bother you. I work for you. We are equals on this planet. Okay? I put my pants on the same as you do, and I also go to the bathroom every morning like you do. We are the same. Don't admire me. Hire me to help you. Okay? Don't let that get in the way. That's what I'm here for. All right. Dawn. My friend has diabetes and he has gout in big toe. Any suggestions? Well, is it at onset diabetes? Probably. And the gout, okay, the gout is uric acid crystals. And that's because he loves his sugar, his flours, processed food, and he might drink beer even. And he probably has ice cream. So, I'd have to really take a look at this. But gout is just crystallization in the toe because of the heavier sediment that comes down, because he's crystallizing through his whole body. What do you think diabetes is? That's you crystallizing. So understand that. Why do you think people get their feet cut off, their legs cut off? Why do you think they lose their eyesight? That's because their eyes are crystallizing. So understand, we can do so much that people aren't doing. But the more that you go to visit a doctor, the more trouble you're in. And the more trouble you're going to be in. And I'll tell you why. I'm not telling you they're dangerous. I'm saying they're there for emergency care. Why would you go to somebody all the time for emergency care? What about just daily care? What about creating the perfect day for yourself? Kerrie, what would you suggest for a child with Lymes? You can call me if you want. And do we even know if it's really Lymes? So the first thing we want to do is take a look at everything about the child, the environment again. Do you shut off the Wi-Fi at night? Is the child on? Does the child game? Blue light poisoning? What's the child's diet like? What's the bowel movements of the child? What's the child drinking? It better be drinking structured water. So let's start there. And then let's not just go to silver bullet therapy and then sell you a ton of products. Let's go to lifestyle. Let's go to how happy is the child. Oh, let's go to, was there any trauma at birth or after birth? What drugs has the child been on already? Do you see? Let's play detective first. Let's not just go Lymes. Lymes is the go-to. I'm not telling you that your child doesn't have Lymes, but between Lymes and a few other viruses out there, it seems to be the go-to. Here we go. Colette, you're so right. What we focus on expands. We have only one body to take us to the finish line, and we should love and take care of it. My mom's in a nursing home because of a series of TIAs, mini strokes, that turned her life upside down. On New Year's Eve 2017, she was taken by an ambulance from her assisted living apartment to never see it again. She's now completely incontinent, in a wheelchair, barely speaks, does feed herself. Because she has difficulty swallowing, her doctor ordered that she can only take the necessary prescriptions and no vitamin supplements because there's no studies proving they work. There's no studies proving that supplements work, okay? He said, I had her on vitamin D3, omega-3, magnesium to regulate her heartbeat, but what do I know? Okay, well, I know it's infuriating, but with your mother, the problem will be in the home now. Too much salt, the wrong salt. You know, if it came to Himalayan salt, you should do a tablespoon a day. You could do up to a tablespoon a day. I am not kidding. If it's table salt, well, you're in trouble. She's in trouble because they definitely are not giving her that. They're also not asking her if she's thirsty. And they're also giving her mainly cooked foods. So the best thing that you can do for your mother is get liquids, like get her fulvic acid to put in her drinking water if they would do that. Tummy love, okay, and also to help her bowels and her good bacteria. And then I would also get her to do Divine Vine, okay, because it'll help her emotionally and it'll help to increase her ATP and to help the mitochondria and help her have more energy and clear thought. And I know you can't do a lot, but if you could maybe get them to do that, and if they don't want to do that, then guess what? You know what? There comes a time when we don't talk cure, we talk comfort. Go visit your mother. Talk to her and tell her about all the beautiful things she taught you. Bring up all the beautiful times you had. And just let her know that she's made a difference in your life. You know, I'll have people call me. Come on, we got to do this, Dr. Wolfe. Come on, together. And I go, you know what? Your mom, your dad, or whoever, I'll go, they want to leave. We're not going to push them. But the reality is, you know, like I had this one person call me up and go, my father, he doesn't want to be here. He's dizzy. He just wants to lay in bed. You know, I got him up walking the other day, and then he fell. And then what can I do to get him up walking? How can I push him? And I said, how old is he? He's 84. Stop pushing him. Start loving him. Make him comfortable. And if he decides he wants to walk, he'll walk. I know that's really hard for some people. Okay? I've had to do that a few times. Okay? Just be there for them. You're so intense about getting them well, right? Why not just make them comfortable and know that they're loved? Aida, my 2-month-old son is suffering from severe colic and reflux. Probably, please help. I'm exhausted. I went on sleep deprivation because of him crying nonstop. How do I fix him myself? Okay. I've been down this road a lot, and I can tell you something too. I'm going to tell you what I had that same problem with my son Zehra, who's 28 years old, and he's a professional dancer now. But when he was born, and same situation. You know what we did? We got an ear syringe. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm telling you what I did. And we got structured warm water, and we put a little bit of silver bullet in it. I've had the same products for a long time. And we also put in there a little bit of fulvic, and we did an ear syringe. It was only about this big, and we only put like an ounce into him, okay? And we rubbed his tummy. We put it in his rectally, okay? And we had a little bag under here, and we were playing with his legs, and his mother was rubbing his tummy, and you should see the goo that came out. Like it was pasty, mucus that came out of him. And he was just a baby. Just a baby. Okay? And the other thing is take a look if he's being breastfed, is the mother taking in any dairy products at all or any gluten products? Get off right away. If the mother cleans up the diet, okay, and try that. Try those two things if you want, okay? Or talk to your doctor, see what they've got to say. But I would check into those couple things. Give me a call. My extension's 5. I have no problem answering this for you. I can tell you right now, when I lived with my grandma and grandpa, there was an enema bag under the bed. And with my great-grandma and grandfather, they had an enema bag sitting on their dresser. So, and then X-Lax came along, right? Okay. So just so you know, everybody, colic is severe, often fluctuating pain in the abdomen caused by intestinal gas or obstruction, obstruction in the intestines, and suffered especially by babies, okay? Okay, reflux, that's acid reflux, is a common condition that features a burning pain known as heartburn in the lower chest area. It happens when the stomach acid flows back up into the food pipe. I'm telling you right now, little guy's constipated before he even gets started. How's that? Great, eh? So you want to take a look at this. Don't take my suggestions. Do whatever you want. But the other thing too is you want to also take some lavender, and you want to rub lavender right here where the heartburn would be. Okay, right here, right here, right on the chest, right at the lower part. Okay, and the other thing you could do is take your finger. This works. This really does. Take your finger, put it into the baby's belly button, really gentle, and just move it around like this. Move it around like this, and keep moving it, and then poke it in a little bit, poke it down, up, just like you would do belly button therapy, and watch what happens. Okay? It's a beautiful thing. Okay. Okay, let's see what we got here. Bear with me, everyone. John, if a person follows your protocol like a religion, how long do you think a person can live for past 100 years? Well, first of all, I don't know about the comparison about like a religion, because I'm not really keen on that one. But can you live past 100 years? Well, let me put it to you this way. What protocol are you talking about, John? Are you going to do the 12 loving steps? How's your relationship with yourself? How's the relationship with your family? How's the relationship with your kids? How's the relationship with the world and you? You could eat the best diet in the world, take all the best supplements, and then guess what? If you've got chaos in your head, or you're complaining about your life, or you feel you're not being loved, no, you wouldn't live to 100. And if you did, you'd be miserable. Okay? Because love is like oxygen. And that's why we got to learn to love ourselves completely first. And then when you love yourself completely and you become the light, John, guess what? Then everybody wants part of that light, don't they? Who wants to go into the darkness? I don't. I want to go to the light. Okay? People will be attracted to you. And when you love yourself, you won't hurt yourself and you won't hurt anybody else. Did you get that? When you don't love yourself, you hurt yourself and you hurt others. Unconsciously, subconsciously, you hurt them. So there's your answer. Antoinette, what is the best test for food allergies? There are so many tests, and I want to take the right one and recommend the right one to others. Well, you know what? I'm not a big allergy tester. I like people to just watch what they're eating and tell me if you eat something, you know within a few minutes or a couple hours that you're not feeling good. And we already know which foods are good. But I will tell you, like, I know that I'm blood type A, and I know that if I take too much apple cider vinegar, I get heartburn. There you go. Okay? You know certain things. I mean, if you were to talk to me, I think everybody's an individual, and understand something. Are you ready for this? I believe an allergy is also based on your emotions. It's also based on your thoughts. It's not just based on foods. End of story. There will be people that will have a reaction to a food today, but they won't tomorrow. So try to chase that one. But we do know specific foods that are dangerous and not good for us, right? But we keep on eating them. Oh, wait a minute. Those would be the foods that are mostly sold in grocery stores and at every corner store. Oh, wait a minute. Those would be the foods that are in the majority of the population's cupboards and in their fridges. So you think that a certain food is an allergy to you, but meanwhile, you've got enough inflammation in your digestive tract that you have an inability to digest a healthy food. Gets a little squirrely, doesn't it? Doesn't it? So I am so done with tests. You know, people get tested way too much, and we're all test crazy. And we're test crazy because that's what it's all about, eh? Continually come in for tests. The more tests you get, the more drugs you're going to get on. The more supplements you're going to get on. You know what? I think the whole thing has gone mental. I'm the wrong guy to ask because you know what? I have people that spend tons of money on allergy testing, and they come to me and I just go, let's put that to the side. Let's get going here. Let's get going. And the more that you detox and you create harmony and you make proper choices, you don't need the allergy testing. All right? But a lot of people need testing because they live in fear. Okay? Oh, yes. I go every year for my mammogram, even though I know that it causes cancer, because I don't want to get cancer. Okay, great. Sounds great to me. Wow. Okay? Yeah, I go every few years for a colonoscopy. And guess what? And we know they're dangerous. I know, but I got to know. Well, I know by how I feel. I know by how I look. And I could just look at you. I guarantee you can come in here. You don't have to believe me. People come from all over the world. They're in here for 3 seconds to 3 minutes. I can tell them exactly what's going on with their emotions, what's going on with their physical body. And this is not a game, okay? When I was 12 years old, I was doing that. All right. 3 lectures sound great. Would love to help so you can come to Tasmania. I have a big community, people here that would love to come here. I'll come to Tasmania, and if you want to get the trainings, I'll send our master trainers to Tasmania. And if you want me to come, I'll come. That's the thing. We'll go anywhere. Understand that. We will go anywhere, and we'll work it out that it's financially feasible for everybody. All right? Life is the adventure. You know what? I don't do this work because it's my job. I do this work because it's my life. Okay. We have the highest rate of MS in Australia. Take a look at their bowels. Find out what's going on there. Okay? And I got to tell you one thing. I had a lady about 3 years ago, and we tried everything. She would not, and guess what? She would not tell me what the last thing she wouldn't give up. But guess what? Her caretaker did. She had MS and couldn't get out of the wheelchair, but she could still get out if she had help. And guess what? 3 weeks into the protocol, and I go, something's not right here. Not that it takes just 3 weeks to turn somebody around, but there was something not right. She was on Diet Pepsi. She did 3 liters a day. She stopped it, and within 5 days, she was out of the wheelchair. Go figure. Okay. We have the high, okay. Would love to know why and what we can do about that, but there is many positives here too. In some diseases we have less than other states. We do have some of the cleanest air in Tasmania and some of the most amazing outdoor attractions. Okay. All right. Sign me up. Okay. Lori, my brother is is in hospice due to cell phone ear brain cancer. Wow. Isn't that just something, right? Hope people get this about the 5G. Get personal bodyguards. Guys, these are amazing. Send them back if you don't like them. I have no problem. And also, take a look at our protectors for your office. All right? And if you're in a really high, intense, like if you're in a big apartment building or condoplex or big office buildings, look at our Wi-Fi. Okay? All right? And if you call me and you end up getting our protector and our bodyguard, I'll give you the most amazing deal on the Wi-Fi as well. We want to get these into people's homes because you're going to feel the difference. All right? All right. Get this about 5G and get the personal bodyguard, home guard, Wi-Fi. There, she even says it. Thank you for bringing the science about these items to us. Just as you can create negative frequencies to hurt people, we've created products to protect you. So they're not going to get you. And whether you think so or not, they could have created the Wi-Fi. They could have created the Wi-Fi to be healthy. Did you know that? They could have created not blue light on your TVs and on your cell phones. They could have done all of this, but it was for it was cheaper, and in the long run they make more money because you lose your eyesight and you lose your health. All right. Antoinette, hi Dr. Wolfe. Would love to know what structured water product to invest in. Well, I say if money's the situation, just start off with this. You can put it under any tap around the world. I mean, you can believe me or not believe it, but as long as the water doesn't look dirty. When I'm in India, I use this. When I'm in China, Mexico, everywhere I go, I just put this under the tap. And if I'm worried about the water, I'll put the bottled water through, because you never drink bottled water because you are taking in xenoestrogens and cancer chemicals. When I see these people at Costco with all these bottles of water and slugging all these bottles home, do they have any idea they just got totally ripped off and they're actually bringing cancer home? Hello, they're bringing cancer home. All right. And then we have it also, this is a structured water unit. It's heavier and it's gold plated on the inside. So this one is more expensive, but it's gold plated, which means it gives a higher vibration. And then this is a shower unit. And then we have them industrial for pools, for farms. You can take a look on our website. But I would always start with this. And then you can get a house unit, if you want. But I would always get one of these as well. Because I always travel everywhere I go with that. Because I'll put everything through that. I'll put my coffee through it. But guess what? I quit coffee too. I'll tell you right now, I'm a blood type A. And it just, I like the buzz. And it was like, I just don't want to give up this last buzz, because when I was younger, I probably did every drug under the sun, at least once, not everyone, but a lot of them. And you know what? And I partied hard, right? And I'm not scared to admit it. That's what we do. But the thing is, I got out of there in time that I could recoup my body. Hey, do you know why you party hard and you'll do drugs when you're younger? Well, because you need people to love you. And when somebody says, hey, do you want to do this? You say, yes, I'm going to, because you want their love. You want their friendship, right? I'm glad I'm not there today. I'll tell you that much. Okay. Sherry, I would love to start carrot juicing again. However, I am concerned about the sugar. You don't have to be concerned about the sugar. And if you are, why don't you go 50% carrot juice, 50% water? When I go on a carrot juice cleanse, and I'll go on it for like 12 days. I just did one for 12 days. And I'll tell you right now, the first 4 or 5 days, I did straight carrot juice. After that, I did 50-50. I did structured water, and I did carrot juice. And that was it. And then near the end of it, the last 3 days, I did just fulvic and structured water, Ormus, and ATP. So that's, make it work for you. But the sugar's not the problem. Now, somebody could drink a lot of carrot juice and go, oh, I feel a little wanged out. Well, that's because you're so fungal. But it still doesn't mean the carrot juice is bad. It's not the same as sugar. Let's get that straight. I tell you right now, carrot juice can reverse cancer. So go figure, right? Nature doesn't screw you. Okay? Mankind's not kind. They do that. That's their job. It's always been their job. Not all mankind. I do drama queen this thing because I need you to get it. Okay? Don't trust anybody out there. You know what? You don't have to trust me either, and don't. You should not trust me. You should challenge me. That's why do you think I come on these Q&As? Okay? All right? I come on these Q&As because I want you to challenge me. Because if you're not challenging me, you're not challenging yourself. And the first person you better challenge is yourself. Because if you're sick, you had a sick mind before you had a sick body. So you need to challenge that mind to find out what beliefs are in there that are so toxic that it's tearing you apart. And they're not true. You are beautiful. And you don't need to be punished. And you're not a sinner. Understand something. The longer you stay a sinner, which just means sinning means you miss the mark. That's all. So if you want to believe, if you've got some kind of religious belief that you believe that you're a sinner and you're gonna enslave yourself to that, then understand your life is going to be miserable. And at the end of the day, who's going to say, "Oh, I'm so proud of you for punishing yourself"? Okay, will it be God? Oh my gosh, the only way you're getting into heaven is if you lived in hell all your life. Good for you, girl. I don't know who made this stuff up. You know what? Somebody just, I don't know, they just said, "Hey, let's just make this up and see if people will believe it." You know what? I'm going to tell you right now. That which created the universe only wants joy for you. All these rules, you break these rules and then you should suffer this much or you should suffer that much. I mean, are we kidding here? You should not be suffering at all. You should learn from your mistakes, not suffer for them. Hello, Dr. Wolfe. What do you recommend? I have a rare type of cancer, a soft tissue sarcoma. Oh, we had a picture we were going to show, remember? Where is it? We'll answer this question on Friday, okay? Because I'm going to show the picture and then I'm going to, and you know what I'm going to do? Because it'll be the first one. Okay, sir, my apologies. I will do this the first one on Friday, won't we? And we will show the picture.
We will.
Right, Yan?
Yes, we will.
And guess what? If the picture's not here, Yan,
I already have it.
you go get them. Okay, so I'm going to go through exactly what I would do if I had that, okay? And we'll show the picture and we'll walk through that. Louis, how do I make the invisible visible? Noticed I have a continuous background of self-hating thoughts about myself, God, my life, my family. Let me tell you something. Guess what? That was me. Holy smoke. You know, I'll tell you something. I was probably around the age of 23, 24. And I said, if I have to live like this for the rest of my life, I didn't say I was going to kill myself, but I wasn't going to live like this for the rest of my life. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't have a plan, but I definitely wasn't going to do it, okay? You really need to take a look at the perfect day, but what you need to do, go and do my Braveheart course and do it 3 times, okay? You need to do an hour every night. If you don't do this, it's not going to work. Go up onto my website to itioh.com, International Training Institute of Health. Click on Braveheart, and then go in there and then put Braveheart free, and you won't even have to pay for it, sir. And then go in there and then do the Braveheart course. It's 32 lessons. It's going to take you 33 days if you do it every day, at least. And then repeat it 3 times. But you need to do the 12 loving steps. And if you have a wife or a partner, then do the 12 loving steps. Do the couples connection where you get on the floor. And is there any way that I could show? I think what we'll do, you know what we'll do? I'm going to show the 12 loving steps. I'm going to talk about them.
Yeah.
We'll do a thing. I think what we'll do is we'll do 12 days of the 12 loving steps. I won't start this week, but next week I'll start. And we'll do 12 days where I'll show a step every day and talk about it, about the 12 loving steps. But you want to do the couples connection. If you don't have that, you get a mirror and you do the personal connection. So maybe I can just show the 3 major ones. But you need to start practicing loving yourself. And that really is the bottom line. Okay? You're going to struggle with this forever. And you know what I think is one of the worst things? Is when we make God into this old man with a gray beard, constipated, and one minute he loves us, one minute he hates us, And then also, when I was growing up, the worst thing for me is I'd go to bed and I would get so angry, even when I was a kid. I'm talking about 10 years old. I don't really care. I'm going to lie, cheat, and steal. Because you know what? I don't know the rules. My father tells me that I'm probably going to go to hell because I'm a little sinner. So I don't know. How good do I have to be? How bad are you? And then you go to hell forever? Oh my God. Well, you know what? I didn't want to stress about it. So guess what I did? I started stealing money from my mother, and I stole these milk jugs, these gallon jugs, because I thought, who cares? I'm going to hell anyway. So then I remember this one time I stole this, they used to have these big plastic milk jugs. You get 40 cents for them, and it was only 35 cents. So I went and saw Clint Eastwood. It was a double feature, and for 10 cents, I got the popcorn, and I came home, and as far as I'm concerned, that was heaven. And you know what? Nobody ever found out. Nobody ever found out, and I was only like 12 years old, 13 years old, and I went to a movie. I'm not making it up. So the reality is now that I know that God isn't a guy with a gray beard, and he's constipated and needs a straitjacket, we have a really great relationship. He totally loves me. She totally loves me. They totally love me. And, what are you actually going to think that you're going to come down here and everything's going to be just hunky-dory? I mean, you come down here and your parents lie, cry, and justify because they've been taught that, and the world lies to you, and then you're told that healthcare, that the medical care is healthcare, and then you go to school to learn things, which you end up coming out of school not learning anything about loving yourself or feeding yourself or loving others, and you just have all this guilt. I mean, come on. Wow. I'm tell you, my main thing is my children are not going to go through what I went through, right? They're not going to do that. And I don't want anybody else to go through that. If you think that suffering is the way, where do you get the belly button exerciser? Oh, the belly button therapy kit? Well, we sell them. Go on our website. Go on belly button therapy kit. Okay? We sell them right on there. If one is healthy, how many coffee enemas per week for maintenance? I don't know if you've never done them. I would probably do maybe about three to 5 in a row, and then see how you feel. And then the next week, maybe do one every other day. You can't hurt yourself. Just play with it. Play with this. It's not a drug. Okay? And take a look in the Perfect Day Guide at the Ultimate Coffee Enema. All right? And play with it. And like I said, give our office a call if you get stumped or bumped or something like that. How often should you clean your structure water unit? Well, I don't know. I would definitely want to clean it weekly, and all you got to do is just drop it in apple cider vinegar. And you can also put it in the top rack of your dishwasher. All right? And it won't hurt it. Fiesta Fun Jumps. Okay. That's her name. Hi, Doc. What is the cause of eye floaters? How to address? Oh, well, it's inflammation, and it's usually from blue light, and it's not always from blue light. It could be just from a sugar diet, alcohol, too much flour products, too much refined products. But you have to understand the floaters are actually little pieces of mucus, okay, or crystal that's actually being created because that's what your body does. If you have inflammation in a joint, your body, it makes scar tissue, right? If you've got really bad inflammation here, you start with floaters, and then later you get to move up to cataracts. Because what's happening is all this blue light or the inflammation, it's damaging the brain. And so the brain says it makes the mucus to try to protect against the blue light. What is that that's coming into the eyes? One of the things that really damage the brain on all levels is that, okay? Well, that and your emotions, that can damage your brain too, like we talked earlier. But it's just mucus. It's inflammation, irritation, and you cause mucus, okay? Like mucus out of your nose, out of your ears, out of your bum, out of your vagina, okay? And then you've got mucus in your eyes. So wherever there's inflammation, there's going to be irritation. Irritation causes mucus, all right? So let's see here. My sister told me today she thinks she might have fiberglass in her lungs from her old job. She used to work at the boat plant. Is there any way to get rid of... Okay, there is. But we have to take a look at other things. Now, the fiberglass is like the straw that broke the camel's back, but we got to take a look at your diet and that. You've got to get rid of all this inflammation because we want the body to take all the energy up to the lungs, okay? If it was me, I would be doing nebulizing with silver bullet, okay? And that's where you're taking the silver in, and I would also be nebulizing the fulvic. I would be nebulizing the fulvic eye drops. They're called fulvic nano eye drops, all right? And I would be doing that. I would also be totally on an non-inflammatory diet. I'd be drinking lots of structured water. But here's the deal. You ready for this? I would be doing, it's called patting and clapping. And I would do this. If I had a lung problem and I actually knew that whatever the problem was, now, and I mean any problem, even if it was lung cancer, I would be doing this. And then gradually I would go harder. But let's talk about the fibers. And I would do it, for anywhere from 35 minutes to an hour. And you might even see some discoloration. You'll see redness. Oh, you don't have to have a shirt on. You got to take your shirt off. And you'll see some redness, but you may also see some, looks like blood spots, or you might see some black and blue bruising. And guess what? What happens when fruit is overripe? It bruises easy. What happens when your tissue's overripe? That means rotting. That means disease. And with the fiberglass in there, if it's in there, it's going to be creating inflammation and infection, right? So what we want to do, when you do the patting and the clapping, it's going to increase stem cells. It's going to increase the temperature. It's going to increase blood flow. And then you're going to it's going to cause blood flow and everything. So it's just like a log jam. Trust me on this. And it's going to help the fiber be pushed out of the tissues. And then you're going to have to cough that up. Okay? There's other things I would do, but I got to leave it for later. I mean, this would be like a whole consultation. If you really, and I'm going to tell you something right now. This is a sleeping giant in there. You do not want to mess with this. You want it out of there. So if you're interested, you can give us a call. Let me see here. Oh my gosh, we made it. This is why we're going to do this on Mondays and Fridays, and I'm really hoping that it can be shorter, but we do timestamp everything, don't we?
Yes, we
So everything is timestamped. So by tomorrow at noon, you'll be able to get these, go to the question that you want the answer for, and they're not all complete answers. And remember something, everyone, it's your body. Let's just take it back, all right? So go check out my library. Go check out The Perfect Day. Go to page 37. Go to click on Masterclass and go join my masterclass and really learn about scar tissue, inflammation, fibroids, tumors. Go learn about all this stuff and how you don't have to fear it anymore. Go learn about how you don't have to have screws put in your ankle or have a knee replaced or a hip replaced. Go find out that the fibroid, you don't need to wait until the fibroid gets big enough that then you got to go for surgery. Go take action. Go take action on everything. God gave you a body, and you are the master of this body, and you can do this. Anybody can look after their body. Listen, you can't do better till you know better. No guilt here, but now you have a choice. All right? So also know that this week we're going to have Michael Finkelstein on, and he's going to be doing 2 shows, and then he's coming on for a Q&A on Thursday. So he's doing a show.
I think the Q&A is actually the next Monday.
Oh, my apologies. So Wednesday and Thursday is 2 shows with him, one on Lyme's disease and the other one on cancer, right? And no, one on Lyme's disease and the other one on Alzheimer's. Yeah, that's what it is. Alzheimer's and Lyme's disease. And that's Wednesday and Thursday. And then Monday we'll do a Q&A with him. And Friday I'm going to be back here, sitting right here, doing what I do, whatever that is. And just know this, I love you. I love everybody. Learn to love everybody. You don't have to like everybody's beliefs. Okay? I mean, we came down here to be able to choose different things. There's 1,500 different religions. There's so many different types of foods. There's so many different types of languages. There's so many types of adventures that you can play. And understand something. Your thoughts created your personality. Your personality created your reality. So do you want to have a personality change? I always do. I want to change my personality continually. If you talk to people, you know, most people say, no, he'll never change. Nobody changes. Until the day that you decide you want to love yourself and you want to take massive personal action, you'll change. You talk to anybody and they'll tell you that over the years, I'm continually changing. How am I changing? I'm realizing that I am totally loved by that which created the universe, and I always have been, and that mankind's a stinking little liar, and that I am worthy of everything, and there's enough of everything on this planet. We're never going to run out of food and water and air, but we certainly are running out of love. 3, 2, 1, you got this. Love, honor, and protect yourself so that you can become the light and show your family how to do it. God bless, and thank you for joining me again. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.